when I started network marketing, I wanted to win at it, right? Like, what's the purpose of like failing at network marketing? What's the purpose of doing something for a little bit and then quitting? So, and I want you to take some notes down, and I'll, specifically tell you in a couple areas, like write this down. But the first thing that I did is I made a decision. Okay. And I want you to write that down. Like, have I made a decision? Because look, and I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. Because, a lot of people will write, yeah, hell yeah, I've made a decision, but you won't be here in 90 days. Okay. Let's just be honest. Or you won't be here in 6 months. And that's unfortunate. So that's where we got to really, the thing about being an entrepreneur is we have to be really straight with ourselves. We have to have like this personal responsibility and I don't know, I guess integrity from within. And because like, to me, like if you've made a decision that you're going to do this, then a decision is followed up by never ending action until you get done whatever it is that you're looking to get done. Otherwise, you haven't made a decision. So if you're acting every day, if you're exposing and inviting and sharing and growing, and you're making daily progress, you're doing something to propel your business forward, not just busy work, but productive work, then there's a good chance that you've made a decision. So, I like first 2 years in network marketing, I pretty much made nothing. Had to move home and live in the bunk beds of my parents' house and regroup financially. But I knew I was going to be in network marketing. It was never even like, there was no doubt that I was going to be involved in the network marketing profession. It just didn't happen for me, I guess, as fast as I wanted it to. And it may happen fast for you. It may not happen fast for you, but if you've made a decision, then you're going to continue to do until, what's interesting, I'll share this story with you. Right before COVID hit, right? I mean, even before I say that, you know what, like given all the amount of uncertainty in the last couple of years and COVID, we're still in COVID. I mean, isn't that crazy? Like we're 2 years into this deal, and more and more people are looking for ways to make money from home safely, right? To be able to, take care of their families, their obligations, whatever, and be able to do so from home. So I think we're the most logical choice for people, but we're only a logical choice if we go out there and we share what it is that we're doing. We got to let people know, right? We got to share what it is that we're involved in. Otherwise, people don't know about us. So right before COVID happened, and I really want you to hear, I'm gonna actually share two stories with you that there's big lessons in the stories. Right before COVID happened, it was March 7th of 2020. I was in Las Vegas. I was speaking for about 3,000 people. And these are all people that had flown into a national conference, right? They spent hotel money, airfare, food, had to pay for the conference. Probably the average cost per person was probably $3,000, right? To do this whole whatever weekend. And I'm in the middle of my training, and then I kind of while I was doing the training, I asked the group, and I'm going to ask you the same question or the same questions. And it would be cool. Can you guys, unless you're naked, can you turn your cameras on for me? Like if you're naked, keep your cameras off, but if you're clothed, I don't care if you're driving in your car or whatever. I want to see you because I want to see the responses here. Appreciate that. So I asked this audience, I go, how many of you that are here want to make enough money in this business where your life could depend on it? In other words, it provided you everything that you needed and then some. You didn't have to have a job or second job or this business gave you everything that you needed and far exceeded it. How many of you, by a show of hands, want to be in that position? Raise your hands. Okay. Okay. That looks like pretty much everybody. Okay, cool. All right, good. That's the same question. That's the same response I got there. I had 3,000 people raising their hands. My next question is, and here's the second question for you, is are you acting as if your life depends on it? Raise your hand if you really know that you're acting as if your life depends on it. Wait. There's some hands, but not all the hands. Why is it then that you all want your life to depend on it, but you're not acting as if your life depends on it? Interesting, right? That's interesting. Same exact response. I had 100% of the hands in the room were up when I asked that question, and then maybe probably less than 5% of the hands went up. So, okay, so you want your life to depend on it, but you're not currently acting as if your life depends on it. So if you're not currently acting as if your life depends on it, then your life will never be able to depend on it. And that doesn't mean full-time all the time. That just means that you're acting as if your life, you can be part-time 3 to 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, and still be acting as if your life depends on it. And so then I posed this to them and this is what I want you to hear this. So, and this was fantasy at that point, but then literally the next week it became reality. I said, what happens if you go home from this event and you show, you fly home, you show up for your job right now because your job's the thing that's paying you, because obviously this thing isn't based on the response yet. And you show up for work and you go up to the front desk and there's a box with your name on it. And you're like, oh, I got a box. That's so awesome. What's this box? And they're like, this is your stuff. What do you mean my stuff? That's like your stapler and your family pictures and your medal from high school football or whatever. Why is my stuff here? It's like, because we don't need you anymore. You're fired. And then all of a sudden you're sent home. And now you go home and you tell, your spouse or whatever, you're like, oh, I lost my job. And now your primary source of income that's been paying your bills, your obligations, you now no longer have. And so you're okay, cool. You put your suit on, your fancy suit on, you go out and try to find a job. And you're out there trying to find a job and there ain't no jobs to be had. Nobody's hiring. That's why I say it was fantasy when I shared this, but literally the next week when we went into COVID lockdown, if you're trying to go get a job during the initial phases of COVID lockdown, there was no jobs. Nobody was hiring. Okay. And so, so now all of a sudden you're like, holy smokes, I don't have any money. I'm running out of money. My kids are getting skinny. They're becoming emaciated. I'm getting skinny. Well, I wanted to get skinny, but now I'm too skinny. Right. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, we're going to be out on the streets here. And you can't borrow money. You're desperate. And it's a weird thing because when you're desperate, nobody wants to give you anything, by the way, just so you know. Like desperation, like if you're in a total desperate state, nobody wants to help you. It's like banks. Like if you got a little bit of money, they'll loan you money. If you got no money, they won't loan you nothing. So now you're like, wait, now what happens? The business that you all have, which you all have, right? In this example, I was talking with this group, now becomes your only option for survival. This business that you're all involved in right now is now the only way that you can pay for your food, that you can pay for a roof over your head, that you can make your monthly obligations. If that became a reality for you, where this business had to work for your absolute survival, how many of you then would step up to the plate and do whatever the heck you had to do in order to feed yourself? Let me see your hands. If you ain't raising your hand, we have a problem, okay? Because now what you're doing is you're like, wait, what are you going to do? Flop over and die and just give up? You're like, oh, I guess I better give up on life. No, you're going to go, wait, I'm going to step up. I'm going to commit to this business as if my life depends on it, because now it does. Now it does. And you being afraid of how a prospect's going to respond to you if you bring them a network marketing business, and what if they reject me, or what if they don't like me anymore because I brought them this product, or what if they say no? Oh my gosh. All the things that might fill your mind now would be completely erased, because it comes down to your utter survival. That, my friends, is how you need to treat this business, even when you're not in that situation. Okay. Does that?
Okay. Todd Falcone, good morning. Wasn't that awesome? Hey, Tom's on today. Hey, tomorrow. Cool. Hey, everybody. And good to see you, Ken. It's always good to see you out there in outer space.
Going good. I'm on my way to another job now.
Okay. So you'll just listen in?
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm listening in. That was good though by Todd, wasn't it?
Cool. Yeah, Todd is great. So he's right on point there. I think we've made the decision that we're committed, even after this first week of activity. It's been a lot of activity, and it is working like, your life depends on it. Whether it needs to depend on it for any of us, I'm not sure, right? But at least we're working like it is, or we're doing something anyway rather than nothing. And for me, I do want to make a full-time income out of this. I want to rely on this income if nothing else is coming in, right? So build it up to that stage where I can rely on that income to at least pay the expenses, pay the bills, right? And then so it's never about the money, right? It's about having that freedom of mind, or freedom of that money, knowing that you can rely on it. It's coming in and it's paying the bills. So it's just, you just breathe a sigh of relief, that kind of thing. But I like how Todd says that, like, there's so many people out there has to be that are just, they don't know what to do, right? They can't go out and look for a job. There's no jobs out there in what they do. And then, they're not going to know about it unless we tell them about it. Yeah. So that's cool.
That's it, gotta let people know, right?
Yeah. And I like the idea that he says that, once you're desperate to make this happen, you have to make it happen. Then you don't care what somebody's opinion is going to be or what they're going to say, how they're going to react. It's like, okay, whatever, I'm doing this. I got to do it. Yeah.
You want to hear something good about
Yeah.
worrying about other people's opinions? You got about 3 minutes?
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, Tom. Always good to hear from you.
I had a mentor give me this a couple of years ago, and it hit home hard. And I hope it hits home hard to the people on this call and the people who are going to watch this replay. But we get in these businesses, we go through life, and we constantly, in order to achieve certain things in our lives, we have to take actions that may not be normal actions, may not be actions that the people we know, the people we're approaching, feel as normal actions. And we're constantly worried about what other people are going to be thinking about us, how they're going to feel about us, what their opinions are going to be about us. And all this throughout our entire lives, we let this actually dictate the level of actions that we take, and we therefore don't take the level of actions to achieve the full results and successes that we could in our lives. And then the final days come on this planet, right? The final days walking this blue marble. And it's the day where everybody comes to honor your life. They hold this ceremony in the place called the funeral home. And here you are sitting in that box. Everybody's filing into the room. And all of a sudden you realize, I must be in the wrong room. There's only about 25 people here. All those thousands of people I weighed my entire life on. I worried about what they thought. I was concerned about their feelings and their opinions. Where are they now? They're nowhere to be found. Those thousands of people that I controlled my life by, their opinions and stuff like that, nowhere to be found. What happened? And then the day comes where they're dropping you in a hole in the ground. Unfortunately, it's pouring rain that day. And you look out. And as you see the heads above the ground, as they're just about ready to close that hole, and you see about 5 people there, and that's your immediate family. They have to be there. No one else is there. You spent your entire life worrying about what other people thought, felt, what their opinions was. You know what? What I realized is that those people that you're worrying about, their opinions about what they think about you, they're not thinking about that. They're worried about what you think about them. So why not totally blow their friggin' mind and just don't give a crap if you're not hurting them? Take the action anyway and show them your results, and maybe you'll be able to break them free of those actions, of those thoughts. It hit hard when I heard it. Think about it. You're dead. There's no one there. Those people that you wasted your entire life worrying about, nowhere to be found.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, that's interesting. They're worried about what you're thinking of them.
Right.
That's crazy. You're worried about what they're going to say. Right? They're worried about what if they're saying the right thing. Right. So if you have that strong attitude that you're just going in that direction, they're going to follow you. And they're not worried about what they're going to say. Yeah, for sure. And also comes down, like, even before you die, if you need some help, because you're in a situation, who's going to show up?
Yeah, right.
Not the thousands of people that you, like Todd Falcone said, like, when you're in desperation and you need stuff, everyone disappears. Like they got their own stuff to deal with. Yeah. And then it's only your immediate family and connections that'll come and help you out, maybe, if they can. Right. So
and the whole thing is, if you truly believe in your product, service, or opportunity, why wouldn't you tell other people about it?
Yeah. it's actually your duty or our duties to go out there and help the people that need to be helped.
Right.
Yeah,
Offer a solution, right?
yeah.
Love these meetings, you know?
Yeah, thanks, Tom.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I love them too. It's great to connect with everybody.
Oh,
Um,
it's nice too that you've got them going on, even though Mark's not doing the Tuesdays, you know?
Right, for sure. And now it's our only thing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's good. And I love the idea of getting together, and I think everybody needs a little bit of community and a bit of people, you know, to support each other and be on the same page of we're all trying to pave the way somewhere. So it's great that we can relate to that and connect on that.
And what's nice is as we go through this 90-day run, as people start to file in, you know, after we get in a couple of weeks in and you start to file people into this thing,
Yeah.
have a place like what you're providing where you can get the people in there where they can get that sense of community is a big thing too, I think, you know?
Yeah. To feel like you're not just alone doing it on your own. That's the problem with working
Right.
from home. No matter what you're doing. It doesn't even matter what you're doing. We could just all get together because we're all working at home alone. You know,
Right.
we got that in common. We could be working on different things. It's great that we're working on the same goals. And
Yeah.
And I like how also Todd Falcone said that if you're not going to do this to succeed, why do it? Why are you doing it? You know, you might as well do it to win. You know, not doing it to not win. So that's cool. It's cool how he's been in the business for, what did he say, 25 years or something? So
35.
35 years. Wow, that's insane. And I was at one of those meetings too, 20 years ago or whatever, and I thought the same thing. How could not everybody in this room like think this is the most awesome thing, you know? No boss, work when you want, make unlimited amount of income, like everybody gets a percentage of the sales. You know, it's like, wow, why doesn't everyone like see this? So I know how he feels that way. And people still feel that way, you know. And then I like what someone said too. There's a lot of people that have been in this industry for 20, 30 years, but they've just never been able to make it happen. But their minds are still like, they understand the opportunity and understand the possibility in this industry, right? So they just need to come around again and have something that works, you know. So there are a lot of people. There might be, I don't know, there might be no one left in the world that hasn't tried network marketing at least once. I don't know what the stats are on that. No, right? Nobody's ever, unless you're like 20 or something, or 19 years old, you haven't seen it for the first time, or, you know, but like, yeah, like everyone's done it at least once or twice, you know, worked with a company, the company went under, whatever. There's many things that.
I think the product has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. The
You know, we've got a
product,
good-
yeah, go ahead, Ken.
I think the product has a lot to do with it, and we've got a really good one.
Yeah,
Now it's kind of hard to explain sometimes to people, but
yeah,
if we get that done, we got it working.
yeah. Yeah, the product and what Potato touched on one day in one of our meetings is David Schmidt and his vision and what he's been working on for the future, you know, not just right now. So
Right.
Once you see his vision and the technology that he's already has patented and he already has working on for the future, it's a company with vision that's going somewhere. It's not going to disappear tomorrow, which is important. So he's built up several companies to a full-time income and they've disappeared, you know, and so with that vision too, the product and the company vision and the fact that it takes a few years, 5 years for a company to be established. You know, they know about cash flow and they know about management and they know how to put all those pieces in place. So you get together with a brand new company and they need to figure that all out, you know. And so this company has that figured out because they've been around long enough, you know, with a new product. So that's awesome. Yeah. So I agree, Ken, like we've got an opportunity now. Someone just has to look at it again and see that it's still a possibility to do this industry. Because I think it is, you know, everyone that's seen this vision right from maybe 20, 30 years ago understands that it's a good vision. It's a good plan. Like, you know, like Eric Worre says, it's not perfect, but it's, you know, what else is there out there that has the same kind of opportunity? You know, try and start a business, as we, you know, says, on your own from scratch. You know,
It's very expensive.
yeah, expensive, and not everyone can do it. It's a lot of, you know, to start any kind of brand new business or a retail store, and all of us probably know that how difficult that is to keep that going and make some money.
I think
Cool.
even with this, it's two things. It's personal development. Like, oh, I should probably do this. It's personal development, like the confidence of building the skills that make you successful in this industry, because it's still sales, but it's also sales with, you know, a much more personal, top-notch customer service, because we get to do the direct marketing. And then if people are, you know, like everybody is saying, if you love the product, then you want to share it, then the nurturing of, you know, your sales team, which, you know, great sales organizations have a good team. So if you build a strong team and then your team goes off and builds a strong team, then that's essentially like what makes this work so well in comparison to corporate America, where it's cold and nobody cares about you, and, you know, blah, and it's all a numbers game. We get to do this, we get the numbers game part of it in the fact that, yes, it's sales, and sales is an amazing industry that can make your financial dreams come true. But we get to bring home the part that makes it human, which is we get to, you know, share with people and based on what they need. And so I think when Todd was sharing, like, we get to help people, he said, you know, people are looking for a safe way to make money from home. And with the whole divisiveness about, you know, how to manage this, that is becoming more of a thing too. Some people just have to make money from home because they're not allowed to be in, you know, places without having to do things that they don't want to do for their health. And so we get to help them with this opportunity. And there's so many great products out there. I'm sure a lot of us actually still use different, like if you use Pampered Chef, that's a network marketing company as well. So we all support each other in different businesses. If you like this product, if you want this kind of health, if you believe in this, then we've got that for you. And if you want to eat a certain way, there's a company that has that for you, and you can still be in this industry. And I think that's the part that, like, Todd is, you know, trying to help us to understand, and why you can be successful for such a long time in it. And then acting like your life depends on it. At first I was like, well, no, because if my life depended on it, like nothing would matter. I would like leave my house all hours of the night. But he's like, and you can do that in this time frame. And so I realized, like, really what he's saying is just in your work ethic. Like, you just have to be of that ethic of working when, like, your life depended on it in the time that you've allowed. And I can do that for sure. And I feel like that's what I've been doing very lately with this 90-day run. I'm excited about that. But I think that's what he was saying.
Yes.
That was my takeaway.
Yeah, he wasn't talking about the amount of hours you have to put in. It's the quality of you're doing this, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, if you look at it in a frequency and a vibrational level, when you talk to somebody, if you're going places, you know where you're going, they're going to follow. If you're not on that frequency, that high frequency of I'm going there, and this is going to happen no matter what, then that will what you're leading by, right? Rather than, okay, we're doing this, this is where we're going, we love this product, then everyone's going to come on board with that because they're going to feel that 100%. Yeah, and you find all leaders have that way of thinking. You know, they don't go in it to fail. There's not a question in their mind. Like if Todd Falcone or Eric Worre started a new company tomorrow, are they going to go in it like, oh, this might not work, I'm not sure if it's going to work? They're going to go, I'm making 10 grand in the next 30 days, and that's what I'm making, right? And then they'll get there, and then I'm going to make what do we say, $100,000 a month in 12 months. they know that's going to happen, and they're going in it with that thinking and that attitude. So it is going to happen. Maybe they won't reach 100 and whatever, 100K a month, but they're not going to fail at it because they're going in with that attitude. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, awesome. So I think we're on the right track in that sense. We're all committed here. We're all putting in effort and work. It doesn't matter how much effort, but we're putting in. We've got a plan, and we're committed to making it happen. You know? So that's cool. And then we're just going to pull up everybody else behind us, hit it in. Cool. So anybody else want to share something? Good. Tara? Yeah, that's cool.
I was listening to something earlier today, and the lady that was speaking, she said one thing that she noticed from like attending network marketing events and stuff was that the people, the events and stuff like that, they didn't ask for feedback. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yep.
Okay. And she said, and you know, coming from her education background, that was something that, you know, is so often and so common. And I was thinking that is one solid way to engage in customers, you know, like, I don't know. It's not a thing that I do super often. Like, I'm not always asking for feedback in like my social posts and stuff like that. But ideally, that's the smartest thing to be doing, because I want to, like, I check my metrics and they're interesting, but they don't really tell me what I need to know. And so I want to know exactly, like, hey, what do you think of this? Like, tell me what you think so I can know if I should put this more or not. And then to hear that again this morning from someone else who's coming from education into this network marketing industry and finding success, but saying, you know, I don't really notice a lot of people asking for feedback. And I think it's such an important thing. It just catapults you to success so much faster, because you are, again, targeting the people who are interested in what you're saying, because you're asking them, hey, what are you interested in? You know? And I don't know, I was reading my notes and that kind of jumped out at me right now. And so I thought I'd share that.
Right. Right. And asking for what it is that they need. What are they interested in? You know, the person you're talking
to.
Yeah.
I think everything we have on here that we send out ought to have a call to action. Like, what do you think about this? Or what, you know, what's your opinion or whatever? Because that's how we're going to have a dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Yeah. Just getting some feedback and asking some questions.
Sure.
Yeah. To people.
You know, because we send them out a video. You usually send out a video someplace, you know, and we can always ask them what they think about that video. You know,
right.
They don't always like it, but, you know, it doesn't matter. You know, you just create the dialogue with them.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people don't understand any of this stuff.
True.
That's what I'm having a big problem with that. I'm trying to get them to understand what's going on. Not only the product, but what the whole system is.
True. And yeah, it's exactly right. So one thing is actually going out there and telling people, because no one's going to know anything. And the second thing is getting the, you know, the message across of, you know, what you're saying, that, you know, so they understand it.
A lot of people need some supervision. You know, that's why I go to a job every day. Somebody tells them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is entirely different from that. Now, there are going to be people that'll take that on, but a lot of the younger people don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to help them out somehow.
And like Dee said, this industry is all about personal development and helping others with personal development, because everyone needs that. Like, I don't know what it is. You can be conditioned. You're like, I've been self-employed probably my whole life, but I'm still in that thinking that, like, where did this 40 hours a week come from? Work week. I'm still, even though I've been self-employed my whole life, I'm still thinking, oh, I'm working more than 40 hours. That's too much. I got to take the weekend off, you know? And not that you got to work all the time, but it's just funny how this 40 hours or whatever, this work mentality, and also putting an hour in and getting paid for an hour. This
Right.
industry is not about that. It's about putting in a lot of hours and making no money for making more money later, you know?
Right.
So that's a personal development thing too. Plus what you're saying, like, Ken, is that we have to teach ourselves to get the work done, because we're not just showing up and having a boss to tell
Right.
us, like, you're fired, or you're not getting paid. Like, that's hard, you know, for
Mhm.
people that have never done it, you know. Working from home sounds great, but it's not as great as it seems. Like, you have to learn a lot of things about how to work with your mind and be able to
Right.
get it done. Yeah, and be productive. Exactly. So we're all helping each other with personal development,
Mhm.
you know, and on how to get this done and how to succeed at it. So that's cool. Cool. All right. We're almost out of time, and we our clock started reactivated because we had to jump into the Zoom again. That's why we're 10 minutes over the time already, but that was cool. You know what I mean? It's already been 40 minutes. So cool. Awesome seeing everybody. It was, I think we're on the right track. We're all committed to making something happen. It's good to hear from Todd Falcone to reinforce that, for sure. So it's good. So go out there and be productive today. And go out there and share the story. Don't care what they think. Right? That's all it is.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Don.
You're
Bye,
welcome.
on.
Thank you.
Seeing everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Yes.
Later.
You too.
Have an awesome day. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Alrighty.